certain maturity is required on the part of the parents. You know, if you look at the traditional system of raising a family, you understand that a high sense of value was required for you to build a family. In my place, for example, in my culture, sometimes the parent have to do a lot of investigation before you could get married. Hello and welcome to Obehi Podcast. I'm your host, Obehi Ewanfo, and I strongly believe that everyone has a story to share. Now let's get started with this episode. They want to know the family genealogy, where you are going into, what is their history, where are they coming from, are there history of theft in that family, are they responsible, are they good people, are they bad people, are they liar, are they cheat, do wife stays there, do husband treat their wife very well. All this investigation, you that is in love as a young adult, you don't have the time to be able to understand that you are in love, which is like a fume, like a kind of, you don't understand it perfectly because you think you are in love. But for your parents, they go and do this background check before they say, okay, yes, you can go ahead to do that. All this is part of preparing you to become a successful parent. Now, I say that to put in context a kind of reality that we are having here, say, among the community that we are concentrating on, which is the African diaspora, or the immigrant community, as it were, in that these people have been detached from home. They are not living with their parents. They don't have this opportunity to be able to undergo this background checking of who they are going into as partner. And this means that there are some certain things that are lacking there. And coupled with the fact that sometimes they are not mature enough to really parent their children. And when this happens, they lack this possibility of this monitoring that we are talking about.
Family separation, for whatever reason, whether it's distance, physical distance, or just other things that have happened to cause family breakdown and family detachment. I mean, that's a problem, I think, that exacerbates everything that we've been talking about and makes everything so much harder. I mean, we know parenting is hard anyway, especially if you are struggling, say, in other areas, struggling financially and struggling with housing and struggling with on all fronts. And then you also have no family to fall back on. I mean, that just makes it, just adds another layer of distress and stress to the family. So it definitely has an impact. And I think it's not just people coming from another place that haven't been, like you're saying, kind of groomed into parenting. I think the way we live now, it's happening in most places. You know, we're very mobile, we leave home, we go further afield, and we do it all on our own without our parents or aunts, uncles around us. So I think that is a problem for lots of people, that they don't have that family background and don't have, to help them, don't have that family there, and haven't actually been like you say, kind of inducted into parenting with family being there just due to family breakdown and things like that. So it's it definitely adds to this particular problem and to struggling with parenting.
Now, I want to understand, what is your strategy of collecting your data? I mean, your research. This is a research project, right?
Yes.
So tell us about your strategy of collating the data that you analyze at the end of the day.
Okay, so my research has basically involved working out, because parents have been really not been involved in sexual abuse prevention at all. And when they have been involved, their role has been limited to educator. So parents have been asked to educate their children about these things in the same way that school programs educate children. So using parents in this way really doesn't harness the protective potential that they could enforce on their child's environment. And using parents in this way basically is liable to the same criticisms as using school-based programs, because we don't have much evidence that these school programs are working, and we don't have any evidence that parental education is working. So my research I've asked parents what it is that they've told their kids. Because if we're going to educate children on this, Parents have to be very specific in what they tell kids. Kids like to work in black and white. They're not very good with ambiguity. They're not very good with gray. And so to protect a child with education, you would have to give the child quite specific information about what might happen. So specific information that someone may try to say, touch them on their genitals, or, you'd need to give them specific examples of behaviors so that they know what to look out for. You also have to tell children who would do these things, because if you are telling the child that someone might hurt them or do something wrong to them, most children would probably suspect that it's someone very scary in the park, or someone removed from their family. And so to educate children appropriately, you would also have to tell them who the perpetrator might be. So you have to tell them it could be their family member. It could be someone they like and know, someone that mum and dad like and know. So I found in my research that although parents are really supportive of this idea, they're supportive of education. And if you ask them, parents I've spoken to, 95% have said, yes, I want to be my child's educator. However, in that same sample of parents, 95% said, yes, I want to be my child's educator. Only 52 said that they'd actually told their child specific information, that someone might try to touch their genitals. And only 35% said this could be someone, a family member. So that leaves a lot of children without the correct information. So what I've really found in my research is that parents have so many discrepancies about this. They really want to do it, but they just can't. They're very good at talking to their kids about strangers and about abduction and about body integrity, body ownership. Parents are okay with telling their kids, your body belongs to you. You have private parts, don't let anyone touch your private parts. General topics like that, parents are really good at talking to their kids about. But actually, the concrete examples that kids need for sexual abuse prevention is just not being given to kids. So that was the sample that I talked to for this. They were parents from Australia and the UK who were very highly educated sample and knew a lot about sexual abuse. They scored highly on a knowledge test. So it wasn't lack of knowledge that was making them not give the children this information.
If you enjoy this podcast, make sure you subscribe so you never miss any of our future episodes. Rate and review Obehi Podcast and share with your friends who might need it. I remain Obehi Ewafo. Thank you so much for listening, and talk to you in the next episode.